Hello viewers, it's time for the latest trailer from F1 2018. It's the Paul Ricard reveal. Let's take a look.
There we are, Paul Ricard track, French Grand Prix. An honor to be driving at home. Really looking forward to that.
My first full season in Formula One, and we've got the French GP back in the calendar after 10 years, so massively excited about it. And to have a home race is always a special feeling. You really feel the support. We have the chance as well to be three French drivers. It's gonna be an amazing event for all of us.
Of course, French Grand Prix is the one I'm really much looking forward in the year. First time that I'm going to race on my home Grand Prix, so that's an exciting one. And a lot of French fun coming and watching us and supporting us.
So yeah, French Grand Prix for me, obviously a very special race. The home race of my team Renault. So looking forward to having a strong weekend there.
Raced a couple of times in lower categories. Formula Renault 2 liter, 3.5. Actually won there in 2013. I had a nice fight with Carlos.
I actually remember 2014. He managed to take pole. It was a red flag session and he managed to take advantage and take pole position. And I started second, just behind him. I managed to get a really good start and pass him into turn one around the outside.
He beat me in the race, so I finished second. Not so happy about it, but I gotta take my revenge this year. But amazing track. I mean, of course, for me, it brings me back like good memories.
I've been playing video games since I'm a kid, basically since I'm 6. I play with a little steering wheel. And it always been my routine, you know, I was exiting school and I was just playing games there. And I haven't stopped that, basically. I've evolved massively and getting more and more realistic. And it's still my routine, you know, I'm just going training during the day. And I play, between 1 and 2 hours on the evenings, online or not online. And I just found it, very useful to just keep it up, basically, when you don't have a race weekend. I just keep racing on my own.
I spend my time at home always, practicing in Formula One game and going to a simulator in Renault. So you guys can be sure that we also do this kind of practice, because in the end, everything you can do, the better.
My first try with the 2018 Formula One game, I must say I'm super impressed. I'm a big fan of the game, so I've always played since I was a kid. But every year it keeps getting better, so.
Video games are getting more and more realistic, which is quite impressive. Obviously, it's never easy to replicate the feeling you've got in the car on a video game, but nowadays I've got to admit that it's getting better and better all the time, and you get some decent line and feelings and lap time out of it.
As a team, I think we improved quite a lot the stability on the car. The team did a good job to improve the aero, our aero package, and it's actually something you can feel also in the game. In terms of balance, really surprised. I didn't do anything on the setup so far, but it feels already really close to what it is in reality.
If you take the aids off, it produces quite a lot of front locking, which is something we have in the Formula One car. The combined traction is difficult to handle because we have nearly 1,000 horsepower this year.
You got to be quite careful the way you apply the throttle on all the exits, especially the low-speed corners. Feels really close to reality.
It's not easy, but in this game I'm actually enjoying myself with the traction zones. I've had a couple of spins, so if you guys at home have your spins, it's normal because a Formula One driver also had them.
One of the main improvements this year in the game is based on the suspension. Is something actually you can feel pretty well on curb riding. You feel that you can use the curb a bit more. It's a bit more realistic in terms of feeling and feedback you get from the car. And something quite cool as well, you can use ERS and manage the energy as you like. It's quite cool to have the similar tools to play with in the game. It's amazing, especially with the halo. It's not easy to reproduce exactly the vision we have inside the car, but it does feel like my car, so they've done a pretty good job.
Sorry guys, next time this will be still me.
The game is so cool. I'm gonna be pushing to get the game before the race so I can practice a bit more.
Oh. Yeah, no. I'm rubbish at video games.
So this weekend we've got the return of the French Grand Prix and the Paul Ricard circuit as well. Certainly been some years there. And Paul Ricard, of course, raced it in other games, other types of racing there. It's used quite a lot as a test circuit. And it's going to be interesting to see what it makes for in terms of a Grand Prix. It's funny, I watched a demo lap from Lewis Hamilton a couple of days ago that went up, and there's so many variants of the circuit that you almost forget which apex you're supposed to be driving towards at times. It really is a strange circuit, and it's also one that lacks a bit of atmosphere because there's so much runoff area that you end up just, you know, I mean, the crowd are going to need binoculars, I think, to actually see cars going around the circuit. It's going to form an interesting atmosphere when it comes to the actual race day. Obviously, the drivers here, you know, enjoying going there. It's a new circuit, it's a new challenge, and for the French drivers, a race at home, which is great for them, and hopefully that will work with that in generating that atmosphere. I think what's positive about this video is obviously visually F1 2018 is looking good. It's very sharp on the visuals. I really do like the lighting. I think that you can see the lighting on the tarmac. You can see the sort of tyre marks and tarmac sort of textures and really detailed tarmac. I like the detail that Codemasters are putting into this area. So many games sort of don't get that quite right. I would say Gran Turismo always did, but there's quite a few that don't. And they've really got a nice texture, look and feel to it, which is really nice for the flow of the racing. And so far, so good. And obviously, we're looking forward to playing the game ourselves at some point. We've seen the recent reveal of the halo fix, as it were, for the cockpit cam, which seems to be quite appropriate. So drivers all seem to enjoy it here. Roman Grosjean obviously not getting on with the game, but there you have it. Pierre mentioning the similarities between the Toro Rosso and you know, the real car in terms of just general setup. So it's, you know, they're finding a balance handling now, you know, in terms of the tuning of the cars every year. There's always improvements in terms of the tyre model, in terms of the physics, in terms of refining that and getting it just right. And it's great to see that the Formula One drivers are now really starting to feel the, you know, that intuitive handling and how it works with the cars, and obviously using the game as a testing tool itself. But either way, a positive video. Everything looks good here. I look forward to testing the game in the coming weeks, and there'll be more from me very soon.